Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christian. Today is Friday, April the 29th, 2016. We're looking at the NASDAQ today. This is going to be a continuation of what I talked about last week, so go back and watch last week's video if you haven't already. Also, if you want any kind of intraday update, if I see something going on that I think is important to bring to your attention throughout the week, I will post it on a Facebook page. You can follow us there. Now let's get started. This is a 6-month chart, and each one of these kind of represents one day of trading activity. The main thing I want to point out here is last week I talked about this chart as well on the short term and long term. Today we'll be just looking at the short term. I was talking about this time period here. We had the up day, the down day, the down day, the up day, the down day, the up day. I told you this was just kicking and what it looks to me like topping pattern. And it's not something that you want to be trusting, not something you want to be a buyer of. And then you had this big gap back down here. And as long as we stayed in this bullish uptrend, you were good, but as soon as you had it close below, I told you last week, as soon as you had it close below this dotted red line right here, you were done with that uptrend. It started way back here when we went bullish and we told you to be a buyer when you had that bullish uptrend situation set there. I told you can continue to maintain that until you got to close below this dotted red line, right? Well, that happened this week, okay? So at this point in time, we're not bullish. Now, it's also important to note that you have something else happen here. You now have a bearish cross of these short-term moving averages, okay? So your 10 period is crossed back below your 20 period. It's a very bearish condition there. It's at the end of your little bullish uptrend that started back here. Okay, I'm no longer bullish. Don't want to trade this in any way, shape, or form on the long side until something else happens. I want to see a nice sell-off, okay? After I get that nice sell-off, I want to watch these short-term moving averages for a cross back on the bullish side again, where I will reconsider. All right. The main thing to point out here is that you can still have a bounce to the upside. In fact, I would almost guarantee that. The reason for that would simply be that no market moves straight up or straight down. In this particular case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive days to the downside. Like I said, no market goes straight down or straight up. So in this situation here, anticipating a bounce, whether it comes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, that's normal. It's not going to be any shock to us. The main thing you want to think about is once you've had that bearish crossover of the moving averages, once that's happened, the next bounce comes up here. You want to take that as a short opportunity as long as it doesn't actually take out the previous high. All right. So here is the previous high in this situation. We'll be looking now to see next week when you get that bounce, does it stay below that? If that's the case and starts to roll back over, that's just a sell opportunity. You can have multiples of those like you had back here as well. The main thing is look for a good sell-off, right? We've got a lot of people that went long here, right? Like we were talking about back when this happened, and they've got a lot of money on the table, so they're going to have to take in that profit. So that's something to think about right here. I also want to point out that if you look at last week's chart, we were showing a very bearish condition here. This is a peak here that didn't take out the previous high. So long-term picture, you're very, very bearish condition right now. I will again reiterate, if you didn't watch last week's video, I recommend you do so. Okay, now someone's going to ask me, Christian, how far do you think it can go to the downside? Well, I'll tell you right off the bat, I think you're going to test this level right here. That's something that hasn't been tested yet, but I'm not necessarily stating that it's going to hold or anything like that. Again, I want to reiterate, go watch last week's video. I show you the long-term picture, very bearish, and it's showing a lot of downside potential there. So I just want to share it with you guys. God bless, take care, enjoy your weekend, and be safe.